Hattie here and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I would do the Deligracy Blueprint Challenge and I would share my entry with everyone on YouTube so you can just kind of see what I did for it. And if you don't know what this is yet, then I'm going to leave the links below so you can go and check out Deligracy's channel and you can go and read the official rules if you want to join in. Because I would definitely suggest that anybody would join in with this challenge because it's actually really fun and the blueprint's very good. And the rules are very simple, very basic. I'm only going to tell you the really basic rules because Deligracy's got all the rules on her channel with the video, etc. So I'm only really going to say like the really basic stuff. So basically what it was is I had to follow a blueprint which was given by Deligracy, which you can upload from the gallery into your game, and where the walls are you can't change them whatsoever. You've got to keep them there, and you can shorten them or you can lengthen them and stuff, but you can't change where they are. And it's the same with a toilet and also a kitchen counter within the house. You can't rotate it, all you can do is change the object, but it's got to be in that place. So what I was doing here is I was adding walls on top, but only to get an idea of where everything would go. So I did delete those after a while and I replaced them for a fence because I didn't want to break any rules during this challenge as well. I really didn't. So I ended up just trying to make it as simple as I could, and it turned out to be a futuristic treehouse or eco home. I couldn't really decide what it was, but it had a lot of greenery in, and maybe that's because I decided to build in granite falls, which is a little bit unusual, I guess. But I was talking to one of my, sim friends the other day, and they were talking about like building in granite falls, and I was thinking to myself, I never build in granite falls. Like, I've got it, but I never use it. So I think that it would be a nice idea if I used it for once. So I did. And so that means that this house could also be a holiday home, I guess. But I thought that because of the trees and stuff, it would be nice. But then again, during the build, I had a lot of problems with the trees because I forgot, because obviously I haven't used it for so long, how annoying the trees are. So basically that was a huge annoyance, and it was something that I was really trying to work around, it was actually very difficult. And in the end I ended up moving it from Newcrest to Granite Falls to Newcrest to Willow Creek, literally everywhere apart from Oasis Springs this went to. So yeah, I mean, I had a real play around, but I did edit quite a bit of this video out. I mean, not everything was necessary, and also I didn't want to include everything in because I did a lot. I literally did a lot. I spent so long doing this build and I was editing really quickly yesterday, so I'm sorry about that, but this build took me forever. Like, I started doing it at, I think it was 10:30 a.m. yesterday, and then at 7:30 p.m. I was thinking to myself, why is it getting dark outside? I've only just started. And then I looked at the time and it was like, oh my goodness, it's like 7:30. This is what I've been doing all day. So it was a bit of a shocker to obviously do that. But I had a lot of fun. I really did. And the blueprint is very well thought out as well. I thought so anyway. I thought that there was a few problems with the front, where the toilet was like right at the front. Like, if I deleted this wall, I'm going to show you in a second because you'll be able to see, because the placement of the toilet was actually where the front door would be in a normal situation. But honestly, it was very cleverly thought out, so I was very pleased with it. And I don't often take part in challenges. I haven't really done a challenge before to this extent. I've only done one that was really casual before, and there was no winner, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, this is like my first challenge that I've done, but I'm not really thinking about necessarily winning. It was more to kind of show my enthusiasm about the challenge and also get others involved, and as well, like, if other people are thinking about doing it but if you're stuck, then this is my take on it. So this is what I decided to do. So if you're stuck and you want to do something really unique and different, then I hope that this will help you in just finding out what works for you. I thought that because it was Deligracy doing the challenge, and Deligracy's a huge contemporary builder, and she's really good at doing it as well. She's one of the best out there with contemporary builds, and to be honest, I thought that it would be a good idea to kind of have a bit of a change of style and go for a contemporary build, because that's what I thought. And I've been wanting to do a contemporary build for a while, or a futuristic build, something that just isn't me. So as long as it isn't traditional, then it's good. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and this was really a good excuse, because when I saw it, it was really perfect. And because the blueprint was made by somebody else, it gives me a different set of ideas. So I had to work around things, and it was really perfect for what I wanted, because I wanted a challenge. I wanted something that would actually challenge me. And this did, because I was thinking about like what I could do, etc. And it was very, very tricky. It was really tricky to do. I relied a lot on balconies and also little decking areas. It didn't say anything in the rules about not using them or not being allowed. As far as I'm concerned, I think we're allowed to extend the balconies, etc., upstairs. But obviously, I don't know for sure, because I might be completely wrong. So if you're stuck as well, go and check out the rules and let me know what you think. But yes, so I did rely a lot on balconies and deckings, because I really wanted to make it look very unique and just different. And then the toilet, as you can see, like it's literally in the middle of the build, which is a really unusual place for a toilet, but also quite smart, because I had to find a way to basically work around it and also make it work. I thought that what I'd do is I would get rid of the wall bit, like a tiny bit, but obviously I'm going to build that bit back and fill it in with a shorter wall later on. I don't know if you'll see it, but it is filled in by the end. And what I thought I'd do is I would have the toilets there, and I'd have cactuses with running water down it, and it would look really fun. And to be honest, it did. I was thinking to myself, it's gone night, it falls, and whoever stays here, or if this is anyone's house, like it's a very naturistic house, like a lot of it is going to be open. And I was thinking to myself that when I went to the Maldives a while ago, I had my shower outside, so it's just one of those. So I had a lot of fun with that. But the only thing that doesn't stay there is the water fountain. I can't remember if I left in or not, me taking it out, I'm not particularly sure. There was a lot of edits in this video, which you will see in a bit, but that was really to save time, because I was very indecisive as well. I was thinking like, is this okay? Is this not okay? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? And it was just really irritating. So I did skip, and you can see now I was trying to play around with circular bits as well, and try and put some balconies up here, which was very unusual actually, and it turns out completely differently. In fact, it's strange for me to look at this to see how it was getting on at this point, because it's changed a lot since then, basically. So then I was really trying to do something with the roofing, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do because I didn't want much going on. So in the end, I basically decided to leave the bit on the right and literally pile this with flowers and different things. And that was just like a spark of inspiration that I had from, I guess, the trees around me. But originally, this was supposed to be just like a really modern wooden house. It was supposed to really be like an idyllic sauna house, really. And then I got inspired, and then I started changing everything here. And you can basically see what starts to happen. So it's only the bushes that I'm putting in. The only thing that I did leave out from this video, it was actually very unintentional, was where the trees are where the bushes are on top of the house. I do add trees, and I also put some pillars, and I put like a little kind of fence on the third floor. It's not a wall, but it's like a crisscross fence. So you'll basically see what I mean like by the end, because I'm going to put a screenshot of it so you can just see. But no rules were broken. It was like, the idea was to basically keep the trees in so that they grow upwards, and it would be like a real eco-futuristic house. That's what I'd imagine anyway. So as you can see, we've now moved to New Crest, and there's been a lot of different changes done. So the water fountain has gone from the bathroom, and it's now just a few cactuses, which, you know, could still work. It's fine, it's good. And then I was really just trying to play around with this here and try and make this nice. And I was also obviously trying to keep to the blueprint. So I had to put that wall back. If you see throughout, if I delete any walls whatsoever, I will add them back. Like, it's just one of those things that I did just for that time. Like, I knew that I had to obviously follow the rules. And by the end as well, I went over the blueprints and I really checked that I didn't break any rules. And I didn't. I stuck to the rules completely with this challenge. All the rules that I was aware of. So, yeah, and then I was kind of stuck for a centerpiece, and I was trying to find a good way to do that. I was trying to readjust the chairs up here as well, which was actually very difficult because even though it looks okay when we're looking at it, and it looks unique because the family could be sat outside the house, like with the fireplace upstairs, it's a bit crazy. But actually what was happening was, even though it looks like that, it wasn't showing up on the photo because the photo was just taking basically like a head-on shot, so you couldn't even see anything clearly. So I had a lot of readjustments to do throughout, and that was really what I was trying to do. And I ended up going for a bit of a different look outside. And then I was just really trying to, again, like rearrange everything. And I forgot to say about the sauna as well. The sauna is actually to the right of the house. If you can just see, it's got like a little cubby area, which is still outside, and it's supposed to be quite a soothing place. And if you want to use the sauna, then it's there. You know, it's just one of those. And then I was moving on to the interior, which I do leave most of it into the video. The only thing that I didn't was the bathroom, which you can just kind of see briefly to the side. So what I decided to do was I decided to put a counter where the toilet was, well, behind the toilet, so that it would look like it was joint onto the counter. So I did that. And then the rest of it is left in, luckily. But I did accidentally cut out the upstairs bedroom, one of them, but that was like towards the end. And what I'm going to do as well, like what I left out the video, which was the strange eco thing that I put on the third floor and the upstairs bedroom, then I'm going to just put them in the form of screenshots at the end of the video, because weirdly I was really trying to go and do this really quickly last night, and I was trying to upload it quickly, but it wasn't working out. And I did a lot of unnoticed edits, which were actually very important, which I left out. So I'm really sorry about that. But I think that it was necessary to do so many edits, because otherwise the video would have been over an hour if I'd have left literally everything in and you'd have seen exactly how I built everything. So it was a bit of a strange balance, I suppose, because it's like going from one extreme of like always leaving a full video to the other extreme where it's like a very edited cut video. But to be honest, this one took me longer than a mansion to do. It really did. I spent a lot of time doing this. So yeah, that's just like, I'm going to leave the basics in, but then at the end there'll be 2 screenshots so you can see, like, if you're curious to the way that they turned out. This was the hallway in here, which I've just decorated whilst I was talking about other things. But yes, I just thought I'd leave it like really simple in that and have a yoga mat as they walk in. There's also no electronics in this house, so if you want to have a television or you want to have a computer, then you can put them in yourself if you want to do that. I just didn't feel the need to, especially because the family that I was styling this house around was actually a very green, eco-friendly family. So I thought that they wouldn't really have TVs and things. They just wouldn't, I don't think. I think it's just like supposed to be a naturistic house with lots of just different wood objects in as well. So that's what I thought, but obviously, like, anybody's welcome to put other things in this house. Like, if I was playing this house, then I might put a TV in. Not so much because it would fit in with the house, just because of the family that are using it. Like sometimes it's nice just to kind of get them in from work so they can just sit down and watch the TV. It just completely depends. So that was what I did there. And then this bedroom was really just full of just different outdoors objects. I used the Sims 4 Outdoors game pack. Is it a game pack? It's a game pack. No. Is it a game pack or is it expansion? Oh my goodness. I get so confused. Anyway, I used the outdoor retreat pack. I think it's a game pack. I'm going to go with that. I used that. And the reason is because I thought that it would be a nice idea. Also with the amount of like woods I used. So you can see what I did with the counter there. There was the blue counter that I couldn't move. And I just replaced it with a wooden one basically, and I left it like that. So still following the rules and really just trying to go around with that. So as well, I wanted a really kind of wooden kitchen where the family could sit and they could just really enjoy eating and things here, because as well, like I want the idea that the family have actually built this themselves. So I wanted something that looked a bit more personal, looked a bit more kind of rustic and wooden. So that's why I used this set. And I did change it around a little bit, so I did actually change it back to this colour. And I just think it's a really nice look for the kitchen. And I actually had a friend a while ago, I went round to her house, and she was telling me that her dad basically made every single wooden piece of furniture in the house. And he made the kitchen cabinets, he made the table, he made the chairs, literally everything. And I just thought that was such a nice idea. So I was really having a think about that while I was building, because I was trying to imagine that the family have basically come into this house, whether they've even built the whole thing themselves or even just some of it. They've came in, they've bought all their own furniture, and then they've left it like that. So it's a very friendly house, and it's a very homemade house as well, or as I imagine it to be. So here was a bit unusual because obviously a counter like this, I didn't want to change it into one of the ones that you can sit at because I didn't know whether we could do that, so I left it like that in the end. And then briefly, like I was just kind of going back to places and just redoing some stuff at the same time as well. I was trying to think of a really good floor pattern here. Oh my goodness, I can't speak this morning and my voice is croaky if you have wondered. So I was trying to think of a good floor pattern that I could have on the floor and keep it like that and just make something unusual basically and try and make it a little bit like a rug, I guess. So that was the main idea for that. And then I just put a table and chairs there when I was finished, so it actually just goes over it. So even though you can't see the pattern that much, if you're like taking screenshots or if you're sat down at the table, then you can see it quite clearly. And I thought that wood was a very good match to the kitchen cabinets. I really did. So I left that one in, and then I thought maybe something a bit different here, which I actually had a go at doing. And then I realised that I forgot the cooker. I forgot to put a cooker in. So I was then trying to think of a good place that a cooker would go. And I was thinking it would actually go in a very good place, actually, where that cabinet was. But then I thought, no, I'm going to put it there. And I'm not going to break any of the rules, and I'm not going to get rid of the cabinet. So that's why I put that there within the end. And it just kind of fits in with the rest of the kitchen. And it's quite nice that the table's there as well, so that the Sims don't have like a long way to walk. And it's just a very cozy place. They haven't got a formal dining room or anything. It's just a table of 4 just here. If you wanted to include more chairs as well, you could do that. And you could have a lot of people sat down there as well, I suppose. I'd probably say up to like 6, or if you wanted a bigger table, then you could even go for 8. It just depends on what you want. And then we had a bit of space here to do something with. So I decided on really having like a mess around and just seeing like what would go nicely here. So in the end, I was just kind of changing some carpets around here. So in the end, I thought about using like a kind of water feature. I wanted to put one of those hedges there purely because when I was playing with the new Let's Play that I've done recently, I noticed it in the park. Someone was like cutting a hedge and it looked really good. So I didn't know that we could do that, and I just thought I'd put one in. Also because it's a plant and it just kind of fits perfectly, so that's why that was there. I thought about a chess table here. I mean, I wasn't really sure what was going on, and the carpet looks absolutely terrible like that, so I am completely aware of that, and I do end up changing it to a nice wood colour afterwards, which actually worked out quite nicely. I thought about a pumpkin carving station because I do like to obviously use the different stuff packs that we've got, and seeing as I've got it, I just thought spooky stuff pack would kind of go in handy there. I just kind of thought about it. It just kind of went for what I was thinking. And then yeah, I was trying to think of like different woods that would really look nice in that area. So I decided to go for something quite pale, quite neutral. That's what I went for in the end. And I thought another little bathroom here. We have got a bigger one, which unfortunately you can just kind of see every now and then, like when I kind of go past it. But I just thought a small bathroom there just to really help out with the situation, because there's a lot of Sims that could potentially live here as well, and I think one bathroom is a bit stingy, so I thought maybe two. And then I thought I would definitely include a chess table upstairs because I love the wooden one, and also I thought just general things upstairs I could include, like a painting station, a couple of plant pots, all that kind of stuff. This was a really awkward room to fill up because obviously it wasn't supposed to be like this, but because of the sauna being there, that's what I ended up with. So I decided to actually have that as a kids' room because I think that this would be a perfect place for a kids' room to be, especially because sometimes kids don't have the best choice when it comes to rooms. I definitely didn't when I was really, really young. Like, my first room ever was the size of, a small cupboard, basically. So, I just thought that would be a nice feature to have. And then I'd have the two big rooms up here being bedrooms, and you could just basically see that. But I only included one in the footage, like as I said before, so you get to see that the granddad's got a room, but you don't get to see the parents' room, unfortunately. But either way, I think still that I'm going to leave the screenshots and it still has the same effect. Like, you still get the general image of what it's going to look like afterwards, in case you want it for your own game, or even if you want to have a nosy at what I've done, because sometimes it's quite nice to spark some inspiration if you want to do that. Like, if you want to find some inspiration in this creation, then I literally don't mind doing that. And I know how difficult it is, like when there's a challenge, and if you're really passionate about doing something, sometimes all the ideas just kind of come to you at once and you're like, what do I do? And sometimes it's quite nice to just kind of see what other people have been up to so you can get some good ideas, because it's all about having fun. Like, if I can help others out, then that's really all that matters to me. It's just all about having fun, this one. And I had loads of fun. So we have done most of the upstairs, and that was the last room to go with. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know it's a cheeky edit there. But yeah, so we're on to the pool now, and I'm just going to show you what I was doing because I decided to put a pool around the outside. I did the regular landscaping that I do, so if you really do want to see like how I do landscaping like this, then literally click on any other video and you will see exactly what I mean by that, because it's the same thing each time. Like, I just kind of went round, so that's why I decided to leave it out. And also, I was going around in so many circles last night. The main reason why I did leave so much of the footage out was because I couldn't decide. I was thinking, okay, I'll add this, and then I was thinking, no, take it away, and then I was like, no, add it again, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of that was happening through this as well. And then we're just back to the front now, so you can see a little bit more has again changed round. And I've now decided to put up some of those little frames, which are like those wooden logs, and they look really nice on the design, or at least I thought so anyway. And I was really experimenting with those and just kind of seeing what I could do. So that was fun, and I enjoyed doing that. And then I was really just thinking about like what kind of centerpiece I'd have in the middle of the house, because I kind of felt like it needed some kind of center window to make it look like that was really the feature of the front. And because there was so many features going on, it was very difficult to do that. So I did really have a bit of a tricky time doing that. And you can also see there's more trees on top, and I did also add a little chimney, so a bit unusual, but we don't actually have any chimneys that would fit in with this house. Unfortunately, they don't have any stone ones. A stone one would have been absolutely perfect, but we don't. So I thought that one, because it's just kind of plain and it looks eco something. Anyway, we'll see, we'll see. Whatever you think about it, you know, you can delete it if you want, I don't mind. I thought just here I would actually lower the whole build, because even though I adjusted it at the start, I actually think it looks better on the ground floor. Not only that though, I think that it's easier to see everything. So it's easier to actually go into detail with how much work I have done on this build, so you can really see it from the photo. You can see that this is a build that's been well and truly loved. And I've tried to do that. So I was then trying to think about, like, where would the fireplace go now? Because is it really good for a centerpiece upstairs? I don't know. But I did end up kind of committing to it, and I went with that in the end because I did like the fireplace feature upstairs. It's a bit topsy-turvy, as you'll probably see. Same with the footage. I guess the footage really reflects the topsy-turviness of this house, because it is, like, there's a lot of weird features that you wouldn't usually see in a home, which is like the lounges on the first floor, you know, gardens on the third floor, all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit crazy, but, you know, I kind of love it in a weird way. So then I was just really trying to think about the different details and things, because this was really just the final thing that I did before I finished, basically, and I was really doing that. So you can see a lot of preparation went into getting the photo right as well, because I spent a lot of time just kind of hovering, changing things around so it looked good for the photo. I actually enlarged the fireplace, but it didn't work out. I left it out in the end, but yeah, I did. I enlarged it so it was huge, and it actually sat really nicely, but unfortunately it didn't have the same fire effect because the fire didn't enlarge with it. So the fire looked really silly. It was just like the same kind of little thing against like a huge fireplace. So I decided not to have it. And then here, I was really trying to rearrange the doorway because I felt that it would actually probably look a bit better if I moved over the build, and did that. And then I was trying to figure out a good way that I could do that without obviously interfering with the toilet, because the toilet was just behind that. So yes, that was the finished result. So I really hope that you have enjoyed the build, and obviously I'm going to show you the screenshots now. So this is the bedroom that I left out. It's just very blue, and it's a family room. So it's the biggest bedroom in the build as well, surprisingly. But yeah, so it's just a very basic wooden room. And now I'm going to show you the upstairs. So you can see, like, on the third floor, it's not any new walls, it's not a new foundry or anything, it's just some pillars and then like a little fence pattern. The idea was behind it that I would leave the trees kind of hanging out so they grow out of it, and it would look really cool because it would look very futuristic, and it would look like they have actually tended the garden up here. So it would just look a bit different. So yes, that is my build, and I really hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope to be able to see your entries into the competition as well. So thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!